So, are you authentic? Are we authentic?
Are you being authentic right now?
Am I being authentic? No. This is not how I normally act.
Doesn't sound like you at all.
Well, that's the question that we're asking today. What is authenticity? And what does it mean to be authentic?
Yeah, and does it even exist?
Yeah, does it even exist? Like, what the hell is it?
Yeah, and how it's affecting our lives nowadays.
First of all, if you're not subscribed already, just subscribe and follow us on other platforms, which are in the description. Yeah, let's get into it. What is authenticity? This is a massive question, because I think everybody wants to be authentic, like they want to be them true selves, but how can they actually portray themselves as that? Like, when we're in a society of people trying to fit into other like shapes and sizes of what other people are perceiving of themselves, it's so hard to actually...
There's a lot of different channels coming into it, and we were trying to pick it apart the other day, and my mind just kind of dismantled because I realised there were so many different avenues you could think about it, and if it even exists. It's definitely a good topic.
It kind of comes back into like our previous topic as well. That the last one that me and you did were like, who am I? Is very linked to that, but in kind of like it's the actual search of it and how people are categorizing it nowadays.
Yeah, well, it's less like compared to that podcast where it's like the inner self kind of thing. Authenticity now, people are kind of looking to external measures and then building this kind of image from the world that's nothing kind of like within. It's like, buy this t-shirt and then I'm this kind of person, or like do this experience or show that I've done this and then I'm this person, and it makes you feel like you're building this kind of personality and being different just from what you do, when it's kind of just not related to that at all. But that's what people are driving and running to at the moment. Yeah,
but especially nowadays in our modern society, where like we buy an iPhone and we're an iPhone user. Like we buy a BMW or Mercedes, then we're like a Mercedes, we own like a Mercedes car, so we're like a certain so you're like a certain type of person because you have a Mercedes, and that makes you, that like it is an extension of yourself. Yeah,
and because everything's so communicated nowadays with like social media and stuff, you showing your personality has to be some sort of visual external process, or else no one will know who you are. And it's all this big competition that's been built on these platforms to show who you are, stand out, make friends, like feel like you're going up in the world, when none of that, you can't portray your true self ever through some kind of platform.
But I think like nowadays people are like, okay, like I don't actually exist, or like I'm not myself if people don't know that I'm myself, which is
no, that's a big thing though. Like I remember when we came back from travelling, I always had this really big conflicting thing because I hated social media, but then I had this like urge for people to like understand who I was, or like what I've been through, because I've like changed. I'm like, oh come on, like I need someone to understand me. And then that's kind of like your avenue to actually do that, when it doesn't actually matter. And then you come to realise that you only need to be like open with a few people. You don't need to be portraying this image of yourself. It's not needed. Yet it's all like an urge within you. So that's built from those platforms.
I mean, it's the urge to show your position in society. So it's to show that you're different from other people. So we've got an urge to be different. So with the topic of authenticity, if people think you're authentic, like you've got like different buying habits that are different, so you've got like, say like you've got like an older like 1962 car, it makes you feel that others think that you're different because you've got all these choices of car nowadays, but you're like, oh nah, like they're not for me, or they're not, just to make it seem like you're standing out. But in some respect, like that kind of thinking you're authentic makes you less authentic, like because you're trying to perceive like spread this social position, but
it's not being driven by like means like from true to yourself. It's more just looking outside and thinking, all right, how can I be different? How could I be perceived this way? And it's, you might not be thinking that directly, but that's the subconscious thought process within it all of, oh, like I need to feel loved, stand out, like feel like part of a community, all these different underlying feelings we've grown up with that we're unaware of, and you just start acting out that on those thoughts. It's kind of funny to watch.
Yeah, but then it begs the question, like, is there anybody that is actually authentic?
Well, I was thinking the other day, like, if it even exists, like, what even is it? Like, when I wonder when the word was created, or just the concept.
Authenticity.
Yeah, because it's like this desire to feel like you're the center of the universe. This desire to feel special or loved, or like, I don't know, like it's just a nice feeling to think you're different. But why do you need to feel like that? Like, why do we have that within ourselves? Why do we need to be different? Like, do we feel like, in my head, I feel like a thing that drives that is, I don't know, like you feel like you want to be loved, and it's hard to be loved when you're the same as everyone else. It's like if you have a favourite toy when you're a kid, like you love that thing the most, but if you just have a big group of toy soldiers all together, I'll just step all over them because none of them are like different. So it's kind of like that. You need to stand out to feel like you're situated somewhere in the world, like you have some kind of meaning, which is maybe one of the drivers, because of, if you don't have meaning by being different or doing something with your life, then I don't know, what is the meaning? It's like one of the avenues we go down to remain sane, maybe. Yeah,
like, but I think the issue is when you try and do it with external factors, so like what you wear, or like what you buy, that's when it becomes a problem, because that's not actually you.
Yeah.
Like that phone that you bought isn't you. That car that you bought isn't you. What you is actually like internal.
Yeah, and those things that you're buying them with a specific goal of getting a reaction from your external environment. So it's always just buying something, getting a reaction to make yourself feel a certain way, when you could just drop all of that and just think about what really makes you happy. That you don't need to be going down those avenues, but it's kind of the way people have learnt to live and kind of trick the mind into being happy.
I wonder where that stems from, though. Like, is it like a societal thing, or is it like a human thing, like a psychological thing? I mean, that's one of the big questions. Like, where does it come from? That need to be individual. Like, I think it is innately a human thing to stand out and be like on the top of the food chain, or like be dominant in society, in like our group, our tribe.
Yeah.
But how much is that is actually driven by these companies that are selling us things and selling us dreams of like having this perfect self?
No, that's a good question, because it doesn't really make sense when you're just looking at it as kind of just this natural human instinct, like our natural nature. Like, we've always learnt to be within groups, work together. Like, we're never really competing exactly within our own tribe. So it's definitely something that I think's been, if it was there before, accelerated or grown from how companies have kind of built society as it is now. Like, we've been driven to live in a certain kind of way, which has brought out all these different kind of behaviours and characteristics from people, because it's a new environment. Like, the environment's changed. The companies have posed this new threat, per se. And people have to respond to that to feel good within themselves, feel like they're surviving. And that's now driven people to go into survival mode and act out like we are doing now. Because you need to feel like for survival in this society now, you need to be successful, powerful, rich, like feel like you're going up in the world. And sure, it's definitely playing on our natural behavioural instincts, but it's definitely been grown from companies.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've recognised it, and then like, I don't think it's been majorly a conscious decision to do it, but I think it's just kind of like, if we sell a product in this certain way which makes people scared, then the sales go up.
Yeah.
Like fear sells. Like there's an example that in my business class I was talking about Listerine, and one of their old adverts, it was saying like they made up this disease basically. Yeah. They made up this new disease, and it's basically just bad breath. But it sounded really scary.
Yeah.
In the adverts, they say like it's like bronchial deficientitis. Shit. And he's like, you don't want bronchial deficientitis. I don't actually know what it's called. Yeah. But it's something like that. Yeah, it sounds pretty scary. But
bronchial's definitely lungs or something.
Yeah.
But we can skip that.
Oh well. But yeah, they created a whole new market because people got really self-conscious, and they were like, like I don't want to be seen as having this disease.
Yeah. Do you want to stop the podcast and go to Tesco?
Yeah, I might need does it... Oh no.
Not good.
I got bronchial deficientitis.
It keeps on changing.
It's a made up word. It's a made up disease.
It's funny how they can pick at your heartstrings though, and just your instinctive like cognitive behaviour, like it's just there naturally, and they're literally playing at it and pulling those strings, and they know it's there, and we're only subconsciously reacting to it. It's kind of...
It's very manipulative, I think.
I mean, that's marketing, isn't it? That's just the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. It's about, like, how can you change this guy's behaviour so that he goes from not wanting to buy this to buying it.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly...
Yeah, like
that's what marketing is.
Yeah, like a marketing executive's pretty much just a master of manipulating.
Yeah.
That should be his career title.
Master of manipulation.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which you wouldn't want to admit to, but it kind of is in a way.
It is.
And now we're at a point where so many things are happening in the world, people are starting to question it. And sure, it was driven beforehand by companies' profits, just simply selling a product, and there's no harm in it. Like, most products are there to improve people's lives, make it easier, like anything like that. Most things, other than like cake and stuff. But like, I've lost my train of thought now. Thinking about cake.
I've actually turned really hungry now. Yeah. Should we stop the podcast?
I literally started imagining carrot cake, and I was like, oh damn.
Oh no.
Marketing manipulation's pretty good.
Oh no. Yeah,
stuck in my head.
I just thought of a cake advert just then. God damn those manipulators.
Proper got me good.
Oh God. Yeah, but
yeah.
But the thing is, I think you're right. There is like a movement away from that almost, and that comes full circle back to like people that thinking that they're authentic buyers because they want a product that looks more rustic, or more artisanal. Artisanal.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm gonna like, search that one up.
Artisanal. Yeah. They want something that's different from what everybody else is using, which is interesting because marketers still play on that.
Yeah.
They play on that authenticity, like even like Procter & Gamble.
It can still be like mass produced and sold as well. The only thing about it is it's different to main trends.
Yeah.
That's all it has to be, and people will think, oh, I'm like different.
Yeah.
Although millions of people are still buying it.
It's like Starbucks and stuff like that. Their like style in their restaurant is like almost very rustic and kind of like trying to be like the smaller coffee shops that are like going like the hipster coffee shops and kind of thing. But like they're trying to mass manufacture it, and in turn like authenticity is becoming mass marketed.
Yeah.
Which is
it's becoming all mixed up.
It's becoming mixed up. So that's what we're left with, and like it's like consumption. I don't feel like is a way to be authentic.
Oh, definitely not. No, and well, it's just you can see it. It's just an external thing. It's fake.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can actually truly portray. But I think it's just that growing need to because everyone does it now. It's normal behaviour in our society now to portray yourself. Everyone needs to know what you're doing with your life, which is freaky deaky. Like, why can't just 3 of your best friends know what's going on in your life, and you can have genuine interactions, chat, and have that like natural conversation? But instead you want to show 400 random people that you call friends, oh, this is what I did at the weekend. It's just so weird to me. But that's obviously, it's not valuable, but people don't see it that way, and that's why it's becoming such a problem now with people growing up with these platforms like integral in their lives. They're searching for ways to be authentic, and they're searching for ways to be happy and live a life with this platform there. And it's a very confusing place to be.
I mean, especially in those younger years, like say when you're like 14, 15, 16, when you're just growing up, you're going through puberty, like you don't have a clue what's going on. You're trying to figure out yourself and where you lie in the world. And that's like the biggest growth stage. And then like a lot of these kids are like now trying to do that, but on like these social media sites, and like they're trying to do it through their like Instagram stories and their Instagram posts, and they're growing up online with all these eyes on them, like while they're growing up.
Like, it exaggerates everything. So like beforehand you'd go out, try and situate yourself in the world, learn about yourself, and try and figure out what you like and don't like. And then you've just been given this massive infinity of like opportunity, information, and people that you then expectations of life are built from, and it's all just completely distorted. So from all that mass amount of information, which most likely not is fake or unreal, you're then trying to form it into some kind of personality or way of life, and it's incredibly confusing. Like I struggle with it, and we were like in that lip of social media being within our childhoods. I cannot imagine what it's like if it's been there and integral for like earlier years, because it's such an important time to just learn about yourself, what you enjoy. And if you're going out trying to copy people, like, because that's a lot of the time what we do. If you're copying everything on social media, how on earth are you going to make some sense of that?
And that was what was so interesting about the podcast with Keandra, where we're diving deep into that, because it's so like it's interesting, because it becomes like so part of your life. Like when you're trying to grow on social media, you're looking at other people, like how are they getting this many likes, like why am I different to them? And you try and copy them to try and like, well, get the success that they are, get the amount of followers that they're doing. But in the process of that, you're becoming less and less yourself, because you're trying to fit yourself to emulate what this person is doing, which also who is like playing an act.
Well, that's why it's so confusing.
So
it's
confusing.
Like we're always, it's like a natural instinct to kind of copy and learn, and we're trying to fit ourselves into these shapes which don't fit, and they're completely unreal as well. Like it's unreal expectations that you're then trying to live up to, and how are you ever going to make that like successful? Like it's impossible. And I can imagine it bringing a lot of like hurt and just irritation to people's lives, just questioning like, what am I not doing right, or like, why do I not feel like I'm as good as everyone else? When if you actually did look behind, and it takes a lot of, I guess, just knowledge to know that's definitely not someone's life. Like I shouldn't be kind of comparing myself to that. There's no point, it's not real. But it's so real when you're within it and completely consumed by it. Like of course it's real, that's your life.
And especially for these young people that are growing up and they think they don't know about the risks of social media, and kind of like know that like the people that are on it, they aren't exactly that in real life. Like,
and
they don't know.
They won't have the experience. They won't have gone out and met people face to face to actually realise, oh, like everyone's hiding something. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's got scars. Like no human's perfect. Yet they don't see that. They don't understand it. They just see this perfect image people portray, and it's really detrimental to people's just mental health and way of like choosing what to do with your life. because you having those kind of like expectations and that view on life when it's just completely unreal. Like, what's your life then? Like, it's just unreal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at that point you kind of lose sense in reality and like who you are, and you lose that sense of like, especially going through that awkward phase in life, like we all went through, like the 14, 15, 16, when you're like bumbling around, like being really awkward and just kind of trying things, but like people are trying these things, and like it's not going too well for some people, because like that's what growing up is about. It's about trying things and failing and trying things and failing, and just like, I don't know, just figuring it out. But now they're trying to figure it out while looking on their screens, and they're just like, well, everybody's figured it out. I just haven't figured it out, so there must be something wrong with me.
That's so true, actually. Like, they look and everyone seems to just be happy, life's great for everyone, and then everything's going wrong for them, and that's the image of life that they have in their head. And then they'll probably go off and try and copy because everyone else has life figured out. It's just not the way to go. No one has it figured out.
No, nobody does. But like, there's an air of like certainty about it, where it's kind of like, it's like you've got a window into like the outside world, if you will. But that's not the outside world.
No.
That's not the world at all. It's just, if anything, it's just a window into human society. It's not the world. We need to, like, it's damaging if we just see the world as just human society, because humans are like not perfect.
not at all perfect. No, but we're perceiving it as. And it's a scary path to go down mentally, and just in how you would live your life if you're starting off learning, growing by just growing up in that environment. Like, you're never gonna actually figure out yourself at all, and it's a very scary place to be, because you'll be sat there completely confused and bewildered by everything.
And like Sadhguru says, like, everybody needs to spend like a certain amount of time in like wild nature. There's something really to be said for that. Like, not enough people, like, maybe they go out into the woods near the house, maybe, like, if that, they may be just in the room, but like the wild, like nature, where you don't see anybody for miles, and like there's no roads, and like it's just you and nature. There's something so intimate about that, and that's so far beyond human societies. And that's something that's like, nature is such a force that has been there way before we were here, and it'll be there way after we're all dead. Like, there's something very eternal about it, but not many people are experiencing it.
No, I think that's really, really important, because it kind of awakens your mind to what the world is actually about, like in its natural form. Like, for me, going into the wild and nature, like, that's my form of like being spiritual, connecting to the world and connecting to life and understanding it more at its fundamentals, where like all of your mind and everything just subsides, because it's like a completely different realm where you can just kind of be content with life. And just simply that, being in the wild, like a little dose of that for everyone every now and again, instead of their world being that consumed into the phone, and seeing the actual true reality of life, would definitely help people's mentality and how they'd go about life.
And knowing there's something beyond just human societies, because if you just look at your phone as a window into the world, you're going to see like, oh, what's Trump said today? What's this YouTuber doing? Like, it's not authentic to kind of seeing the world in its true form.
And it would hold less power over you, or less power over your mind, if you were like stimulated to those different kinds of things, like being in the wild and other forms like that, because then you start realizing that's not everything about life. and it'd be so beneficial if people were to get outside more, do activities like that, where it does kind of take you back away, just for a little bit. That's all you need to get that little click of consciousness to realise how consuming it is and how negatively affecting it is for a lot of us when you're completely living within it for so long. And like society's been consumed for so long, we're going on such a poor trajectory because no one's actually aware. Everyone's just completely consumed the whole time. And it'd be interesting how you could move people away from that. You can easily go day to day, month to month, even a whole lifetime, just being consumed by whatever some human mind's created of what life should entail for you, and what you should think about on a daily basis, and it leads you to doing nothing amazing in the world because all you're doing is creating something in that random chaos of society. Like, you can't really break free of it.
Super interesting. I mean, like, to some extent, I mean, I'm going to bring it back to this, but I think it is about looking within and, like, trying to discover your true consciousness, because that's the way that we're going to start getting a deeper awareness, and, like, more people need to just see the world for what it is. Less people going on their phones, and like change ourselves individually.
Yeah.
Like, we can't change the whole world.
No.
We can't tell like a 15-year-old to get off social media now, because, like, I don't know, they're just a product of the environment, so you can't really do much.
Yeah.
But you can change yourself, and you can be a person that, like, is showing an example for how we can live in this world.
Yeah.
And that, whether that be like supporting rewilding nature and the world, or like meditating, looking within yourself. Like, that's where we're going to change things, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because both of those things, and probably many more, they're the things that kind of help you take your mind out of this kind of way of thinking, and it kind of makes all these worries and everything just subside, and you just realise, like, what's actually important. And there's so much power within that, yet not many people do it, and it will definitely make a big impact if more and more people do start doing that. It's just how to drive it.
Yeah, drive the change. But I think, as I said, like, it starts in you. Like, you can't change anybody else. You need to change you and just be an example for people. I think that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, being an example to people is massive as well. Because anyone looking on and seeing something changing in your life, they'll think, oh, I'd want that in my life. It's just human nature. It's like, even with you and like TM meditation, I'm literally just like, I have to do it now. No option.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I see like the effects or the benefits, and I'm just like, oh, I want a bit of that.
It's good shit.
Yeah. It's like more positive than seeing someone do a big line of cocaine, and you're like, whoa, he looks like he's having fun.
It's the same, but
same like instincts.
Yeah, I think when you do see other people doing things that are like, do enhance their life, you're just kind of like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, it's seeing someone fulfilled, happy, full of energy. Like, who doesn't want that? Like, that's literally what everyone's trying to chase the whole time.
Yeah.
And sure, they get little glimpses when they buy something and everything. But if you're seeing someone do that, you're going to try it, give it a go. That's just natural human instinct.
Yeah.
And it's just spreading, I guess, the mess, like, within yourself, spreading how you live. Just living the best life you can, and people will join. We're all sheep at the end of the day, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Like, so yeah, just, I guess everyone should just live the best life they actually could. Try and portray a good image, and with some good values.
I mean, that's what I think about. There's so many people that I like, oh, I can't believe the world's like this, Trump's in charge, the whole world's going to shit, and like, everything's going wrong. But like, what's that gonna do?
Oh yeah, you can't do anything about that either. No.
What's it gonna do? Yeah. Like complaining about something, like it's not positive. No. Like you're just bringing yourself down, and how you feel about the world, it's affecting you, and like then you're going down to that level. But if you just bring yourself up and go like, okay, I'm separate from all that stuff, and then like enhance your own life, and you just said it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah,
because people see that.
Well, yeah, and there's no point. So many people do that. They kind of worry too much about the external environment, and they let it affect their inner environment. And of course it's all chaotic, like we're living in a crazy world, and people are voicing all their worries and panics. But realistically, what are you going to do? You can't ring Trump up and ask him to be a nicer human being.
Yeah.
So you may as well just completely be happy within yourself, figure out your head, just calm it, and just show a good image to everyone, follow some values, and live out a great life. And the positive waves will change from that. Like it's quite, like you can see it happening. Like even like with me and you and our relationship, anything like we're doing will like emanate off each other. And it's just to show you can do the same with everyone, friends, family, and it just disperses.
Yeah, you just spread your energy and you get it back, honestly. Like, and you'd be surprised, like, when you stop trying to, thinking about changing the world and getting really upset about everything, and actually start going like, okay, what can I do? That's such a shift. That's such a shift.
When does anything ever get done by worrying and thinking? And like the things that get done is you being in the moment, worrying about yourself and just getting stuff done, and then something will come of that. There's no point putting too much expectation, worry, or anything on top of yourself, because you're only human.
It's like with the example of Trump, like it's such a good example to use. But like when he got elected, like people were like, oh, this is horrible, I don't want to be a part of this country anymore, like this, that, and like I hate him and I hate America, and like just vote him out next time. Like that's all you can do. Like it's
something you can't control.
Yeah,
so there's no point, literally no point. You may as well think, alright, how can I make this inner disturbance in my head subside and get on with life, because there's no point worrying about things you can't change. Literally no point.
No.
And so many people do.
Yeah, just gotta do you. Like just enjoy life in yourself, and what else matters. And enjoying life yourself means like spreading lightness into other people's lives. It isn't like a selfish thing. It's just being true to you, and being true to like what you love to do, and actually pursuing your own happiness, and just going like, okay, all this stuff is going on in the world, how can I be happy myself? And that might be serving people, like making people's day better, or just being yourself and being happy. Even doing that just produces so much good karma in the world. Just worry about your own karma and what you're doing. Like, it's like Jordan Peterson said, you can't change the world until you start tidying your own room.
I love that.
No. It's so true though.
I just remember just every time someone says that, I just imagine this comedy skit I've seen where this guy's just like making fun of it. It's like, oh, my life's going to shit. Just clean your room, man. You'll be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's very simple and arbitrary, but it is true. Like once you start cleaning your environment and stuff around you, like things are gonna start going better. And like it's just the small little changes that you make in your life, and just making those small intentions, like even to clean your room. Then next you'll go like, okay, I'll go for a run. And next you'll be like, okay, I'm feeling a bit better. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll just push a bit harder in my career. Then it kind of spirals, and then you go like, I'm moving towards where I want to be. And being happy.
Rather than chasing down a different road.
Yeah, man.
Trying to make everyone else happy.
Yeah. I think that is true authenticity, when you're just doing you and being you, rather than being externally charged. That's the bottom line. I think for me, is that I think a lot of people think authenticity is how they portray themselves in the world. It's not.
No.
Like, it's being authentic is just sitting with yourself and knowing yourself truly, and that's it. Like, it's about the inner experience.
Well, yeah, there's no point. You can build that authenticity. Well, you're not even building it. It's just there.
There's nothing to build.
Yeah, and people need to realise they don't need to prove anything to anyone. They don't need to show anything.
Yeah.
And you don't need to give off this certain image. You just have to be happy within. That's it.
But it's just how society's been curated, I guess. And it's based around consumption and looking a certain way and spreading this image of yourself. Which, just gotta worry about yourself. That's it.
Simplify.
I think that's a good conclusion.
Well, yeah, big time.
Big conclusion. Like, you can try to be authentic in the world as much as you can, but in the end, like, you're just still blood and muscle and bones. You're just a bag of bones. You're the same as anybody else.
That's a hook, line and sinker, that is. You're just a bag of bones. Alright, we're done.
A bag of bones. It's a ball of mush.
Yeah. I don't know where this podcast is going.
I don't know. I think we've come full circle almost.
Yeah, you chucked off being authentic in the last sentence. It does.
I think we've gone on little tangents, but like, it's about being yourself, and I think.
Yeah, I think it's more instead of looking outside, trying to portray an image the whole time. That's not being authentic. Like, you don't need to be different. Just being yourself, truly, like understanding the world for what it really is, not getting too consumed, and actually stepping back, not getting, like, maybe just having a break, like not even being that consumed by it, is the thing you need to do to actually be truly authentic. You don't need to show anything. It's already there.
I mean, easier said than done, as always.
Yes.
But we just.
Well, you may as well try, though.
But yeah, I mean, that's where you've got to aim for. Like, that's the thing with foam. Like, it's not about providing the answer and everybody has to stick to this and do this and like, don't consume anything ever again. But just think about it. Like, just question it. Like, that's what it's about. Like, it's not about just saying don't do this, like preaching people. It's just starting a conversation on things that are really important.
Yeah.
Those deeper questions.
Well, things that people actually need to question as well.
Yeah. These are the big questions. The big questions that we need to investigate and start investigating, because like, I don't think we do enough in this day and age.
No.
Well, anything else to add on authenticity?
I'd quite like to research when it was made, but I think I'm alright.
When it was made?
Like, when the concept was created.
I did learn about it, but I can't really remember when it originated. Just, I think like it was like this turn of this century. I think like people started, or maybe it's further back than that. It's like the 60s, maybe, like when there was like hippies and the anti-culture, like anti-society culture, where everybody's kind of like peace and love, like don't trust these companies, and like now it's just manifested into consumption. Like, it's like the companies have owned it. Yeah,
brought it into their own.
Yeah, which is really interesting. I'm interested in that kind of consumption culture that we're in now. It's super interesting. But yeah, should we end it there?
Yeah, wrap it up.
42 minutes.
Solid.
Yeah, thank you for watching this far in. I talk about authenticity. I hope you got some value from it, and I've started to question life a bit more and question who you are and if you are actually what you consume, or is it something deeper than that. It's just something that we need to question. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you later.